Hey guys, Frank Cho Wonder Woman in the Secret Sanctuary. Let's take a look. Hey guys, I don't buy a lot of 1/6 scale pieces. My wheelhouse really is quarter scale, but every once in a while a piece comes along that attracts my attention, and because of the friendlier price on 1/6 scale pieces, every once in a while I pick one up. This falls into that category. This is part of the DC Designer Series. I think it's the 8th piece in that series. We've had Harley Quinn, we've had Flash, Starfire, what else? We had Superman with Lois. We had another Wonder Woman, the Amanda Conner Wonder Woman, and Batgirl. I think Batgirl's in there. Is Batgirl in there? And then there's more coming next year with Aquaman and Mira, and the Mike Mignola Batman, and I'm sure there's a few more that I haven't seen yet. But let's talk about this one a little bit. It's got an edition size of 5,000, which I think is standard for this series. And it's a really nice piece. It's surprisingly, I don't know how to describe it. I think what struck me the most when I first took it out of the box was the skin tone. It's not a standard skin tone. There's something more nuanced about it. And I think she's very, very attractive. The bright blue eyes help as well, the blood red lips. But there's something about that skin tone that brings more life to this statue than I expected. When you've got something like this, where it's a 1/6 scale, it's a female character, and it's a fairly simplistic sculpt, you run the risk of it looking too much like a Barbie doll. This escapes that problem in many ways. So I'm really quite happy with it. I'm going to show you some close-ups in a minute, but I thought I would just give you some general impressions first. Spin her around a little bit. She's got the thunder thighs that we'd expect from Frank Cho, unique to his interpretation. The lasso is kind of a stiff material. I don't know if it's wire or what, but it's not string. The sword, again, is rather plain. There's no writing, there's no symbols like you'd find on a Gal Gadot Batman vs. Superman sword or from her own movie. The shield has the Phoenix image. It's very nice. There's some minor battle damage on the boots and on the knee guards. And I'll show you close-ups. The hair is very cool. I thought it might be that springy material that on the ends that they used in the that Sideshow used on the Wonder Woman PF, but it's not. This is all sculpted, and so be careful taking it out of the box. I actually snagged it on something, but didn't break, so that's good. I did have to force the peg into the base, more so than I would like. In fact, more so than I would have done on a $500 quarter scale piece. But on a more affordable piece like this, I took the risk, and it eventually went in, but I had to put a pretty good amount of force on it to make it work. I think the musculature in the back is really well done. And I just love that portrait. It really makes the piece for me. If they had failed with the portrait, the whole thing would have been a loss for me. I wouldn't have been happy with it at all, but they did a great job. All right, let's look at some close-ups. All right, let's take a closer look. Start at the base. This is a similar base to the Adam Kubert Dark Knight 3 with the 1 foot on, 1 foot off. And the Wonder Woman logo there in the same place where the Batman logo is on the Adam Kubert piece. There's the battle damage that I mentioned. It's subtle, but well done. And here's the shield. The shield also has battle damage. I like the subtle definition in the thighs. There is the lasso I mentioned, and again, I think it's probably wire. The simple sword, which comes as a separate piece. You just slip it into her fist there. So here's the portrait. And like I said, the portrait makes the piece for me. Really beautiful. Crazy blue eyes. See if I can get, probably won't be able to get closer. She just looks fantastic. I'm going to pull back. Spin her around a little bit. Meanwhile, you can look at my Wonder Woman 11 over Washington, D.C. Okay. I think they did a great job, as I said before, on the musculature in her back. And the hair looks good. Lots of opportunities for breakage, but so far it has survived. Again, it's a simple piece, but very well executed. I can't imagine anybody would have too many arguments about this piece. It's very well done. All right, let's do a few size comparisons. Here she is with Adam Kubert Dark Knight 3 piece. Some people have expressed some concerns about the variation in scale between the different pieces in this series. It doesn't bother me as much, just because these are distinct interpretations by different artists. So they're not necessarily trying to match each other. Of course, Dark Knight is going to be a big, bulky interpretation of Batman, as is the Frank Cho interpretation of Wonder Woman. So these ones, I think, actually match fairly well. Batman should be maybe a little bit taller than Wonder Woman, but I'm not sure that much. Wonder Woman's an Amazon. She should be quite tall. I think these two actually display very well together, even though they're from very different stories, very different timelines even. All right, let's look at some other Wonder Womans. Here she is with two other statues. One is one of the cover girls of the DC Universe. I think it's the third Wonder Woman that they did in that series. And then, of course, the Art FX Gal Gadot, which came out just a few months ago. And all of them are cool statues. They're all unique. They're very different from each other. But you can't help but notice the brute strength of the Frank Cho version. There might be a grace and elegance to the Gal Gadot version, but I think when you're looking at who you would want by your side in a fight, it's probably going to be the Frank Cho. Although I got to admit that Art FX Gal Gadot has a beautiful portrait. You can argue about the likeness, but it's very pretty. Three nice statues. Okay, I hope that gave you a pretty good idea of how nice this statue is. If you have it on order, I think you're going to be really happy with it. If not, you might be thinking about it after seeing this video. They do have it in stock right now at Entertainment Earth for $129.99, and they offer free shipping to the US. I don't know what they charge you international guys, so you might want to check that out. On Big Bad Toy Store, it's currently on pre-order for $119.99. They did have an order come in, but I think it was eaten up by people who had already ordered it. So I don't know how long the wait will be. And they do charge shipping even to US customers. So you'll have to figure out what the better deal is for yourself. I always encourage people to buy from their local comic shop. It's going to be a little pricier there, unless you know the owner and you get a special discount. But I always encourage people to support their local comic shops. I think that's always a good way to go. But again, it's a nice statue. All of the pieces in this series are unique because they're all interpretations by different artists. But I've only bought two. I bought the Adam Kubert Dark Knight 3, and I bought this one. Maybe it's because they're both they're more imposing pieces than the others, but they definitely were the ones that stood out for me. So enjoy your Frank Cho Wonder Woman, and if you like this video, please subscribe. And have a great day, guys. I'll see you on Facebook, and I'll see you on the forums. Have a good night.